Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of ARCHAEOASTRONOMY from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astro-theology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.
One Father for us all, one Creator, one Maker, one Redeemer, one Great Shepherd, Most High Celestial. Don't be pretty for us and pray for him. So good and mercy for all the world life. Here God Celestial. Never shed the sword of giant continue Mosiah Jehovah. Never build a unity with one to the other Mosiah. Now I will walk by your strength and thy divine power. The power of Mosiah, the Creator, sitting on the power of our heart, of our chest, of our people. To the mighty thy giver, Mosiah. A thousand years thy side is like a even gone, Mosiah. Mosiah Jehovah. He said, Father, we let's see if he has shot the days. And I don't face will never see him, Mosiah. He said, well, the Most High Celestial Jehovah. The Christ has shown the black Christ of the world, show the world at this time, heathen world, evil world at this time. He said, he shall come and conquer all and Caesar, all and Caesar, and all. And my heating and check and favor and all working. And for one word pass away, heaven word pass away, Most High Celestial.
Yeah.
And we shall not see another power, we shall see the people come up and the power. And I about how we shall say Israel, find the love in one together, because I will come. The government should have gone off ahead, so you talk about it, or if it's here, set away. But we're not a trouble, man, teach the heart to draw the fear of them, Mosiah. That's it, when the time will come, right about how we speak the word, time will come. There shall see around the parliament and set them off without a street. We say no good to the black people in the world. Black people still God and love the God. Black people still God and love the black God and the black self. Only the black self that will love this day. Black people love the black God. Black people walk and love the black God. Black Jerusalem children love the black God and the black God and the black self at the time. Get every heart of the black heart of love. Get every heart of the black heart of righteousness. Get every heart of the black heart of holiness. Get every heart of the heart of clean heart of clean heart. And for what we are God and what see you come to the Most High Jehovah.
Yeah, we definitely give thanks.
Oh, we lift one hand unto the hill coming to our head. Our head coming unto the Lord who made the earth. Do not suffer our foot to move. We keep us as in our splendor. The whole who keep us in the last in our summer aspect. The Lord your keeper. The Lord is shade and right hand. By his protection, so that's the matter by day and by night. The Lord is there from all he the Most High Celestial.
Yeah. Yes, family, give thanks for your presence. Beautiful evening. Life giver and the keeper of life.
Somebody's country involved, bet down my mighty kingdom, his kingdom, his father's go on and
After celebration in the house of Israel.
They don't have no poor more, cut them poor more, side to God, save thy children, so we look at the sign and talking and one up and his government, most of Jehovah. Upon the Hebrew world, European world, upon the Hebrew world, European world. Bring them down to the Britain, America, Canada, the world, and France and Italian, and both Germany, and Rome, bring them down to the pit of destruction, the Mosiah God, Jehovah.
Give thanks for your presence with us this beautiful, wonderful evening.
By the seal of power,
Yes, give thanks for your patience even coming in.
at this time,
At this time.
call up here to speak about South Africa.
We're talking about the tiger's nest.
To by South Africa in 1950, yeah, show me when you went to South Africa. Yeah, everyone will see what you do in South Africa. So call up on South Africa, South Africa, everybody say, check come from Poland, South Africa ruling, also Jamaica ruling, most times. So that's and get them out of the land, out of Africa entirely. I was to be to get out and be quiet in themselves. Right to fire the strength to do the home. Send everyone to Garvey, everyone. And to get out of South Africa, out of the way. And we are the sons and daughters of Africa ascendants. I told my royal sons and daughters of refugee to come home with that mighty power, to the mighty 24 hands, and 24 arms, to drive out of our heavenly hands, everything that Mosiah God, Jehovah. God said the United Nations, to all the people, all the go of the earth, for freedom and redemption for them all. Children come to be a right of a people, to bring forth an equal right and justice. To Article 1 of the man born equal. They are equal what the people equal right is. They know the right and they have not, and they have equal. What have they have nothing. No one think about have not. You never call upon the United Nations. They never fear. You call upon all 55 parts of the United Nations worldwide. The clearance upon our head of government. In Jamaica, Egypt, upon our families in Jamaica, and our cabinet, and the national, international right for all black people, all you, no matter who we may be, the poor, and the poor, the white and the poor, we have a right, they were trying and the poor have a right, and the religion for have a right, and everything of a royal sons and daughters died, and slavery, the ascendant, and refugee ascendant. We have to unite the nation together, all rights of all these people rights, and gather and bring them back, and carry and get them back in Africa. Sure, and call Africa, we are all Africa states, and also head of state to come down and rectify with them down in this country, Jamaica country. The same families in the country, the serving all the rights of the country, the all the rights of all the black people in the world, the right to work and royal sons and daughters in the world, the almighty power, the almighty land, the almighty
Eager, see mercy, bring us that dear land of rest. Walk with God our Father and the ancestors ever blessed. 1 in 3 and 3 in 1. King Selassie, Jah Rastafari, this beautiful and wonderful evening hour. Family, give thanks again for your patience. Give thanks for even your presence with us. Give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie the first, again on a beautiful, wonderful evening, a very special day. This is the 31st day of May. And I know when I said heart a celebration, ones may be wondering to themselves what exactly is a celebration. Well, the 31st day of May within itself, within this order, within this Congress, has its own mystic realms. Of course, in the year 1994, the 31st day of May, which was a Tuesday morning, a Tuesday specifically, but in the uprising, that was the day officially where you could say on record that the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards would have left our presence. In fact, you could consider that the man that we know, Bongo Eddie, Prince Emmanuel, And King Emmanuel, as we refer to him as, the seated up on his throne. That was like the sealing up of that time, the sealing up of a epoch, sealing up of an era. Yes, and that would be the date, 31st of May, 1994. Within that day, and even surrounding the day, prior to the day, and even after the day, there are many mystics that I myself can even highlight, and depending on where the Spirit carries me, I will highlight them this evening, may or may not. Again, I'm moving with the Spirit because the Spirit tends to have this ability to guide you if you just humble to the irids and the Spirit. It's like floating on water. It's even like swimming to some degree, but let's say floating on water. And there is this technique where an individual could take a nap underwater, not under the water, not underneath the surface of the water, but on top of the water. Well, at least to some degree, because of buoyancy, you would be floating underwater, just laying back and looking at the sun. Some of you can do that. And it is because of a certain level of calmity why you can do that. So this is why you hear the phrase, a drowning man would even, stretch his hand to hold on to a straw. Not a drinking straw, but a straw from a branch or even a drinking straw, anything, a piece of grass. That's the point. A person who is drowning, beating the water, they would grab for anything because they have either lost or not in the position to understand that they don't need to even grab anything. They can just calm down and take control of their body, and they will begin to float. So that analogy goes with the Spirit in general, because the Spirit and the unseen world, family, I am telling you, it is always guiding us. When you are at a certain stage, you can see where the irates is leading you. When you may not be at that stage, but you're humble enough that the irates or the spirits can guide you and lead you without too much friction. But then now some of us are at the stage where we compete with the spirits because of lifestyle, because of our culture, because of even the paths that we have chosen in life. Sometimes the Spirit, the Most High, the Mother and Father speaking to us, and we not only that we don't hear, but we resist the energy that is coming to us. And all of that is in the spirit realms. Because I would say that it is ever so mystic, as I said, 1994. And I'm speaking of the 31st of May. That it wasn't planned by myself, but it seems to have been planned in the spirit world. That exactly 7 years after that, exactly 7 years after that, I would have specifically received my official prophethood, meaning that I would have got crowned. Now, so in other words, a day like today, at this very moment, is a moment of celebration on that behalf, on that realm. As again, it is 22 years after even such a coronation or such crowning. But let me repeat that it was not planned in any way. that it had to be exactly 7 years after the fact of our Father moving from amongst us. And it's not just about 7 years, but it also has to do with even where I was crowned. I'm speaking of exactly the very same place where the events of 1994 happened. Not just in Jamaica, not just on Bubble Hill, but I am honored and proud to say that I was crowned in the palace of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. I was anointed with the wrapping of the turban by the Honorable Priest Zebulon. And of course, the reading of my Psalms was that of the Honorable Priest Morgan. Honorable Priest Toot would have witnessed the process, and also the young prince at the time, he'd be about 3-4 years old. Josiah also came out of his room and wrapped his turban while my turban was being wrapped. And that is the grandson, by the way, of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And it was just a blissful day. I got crowned by myself. And as I said, interestingly, in the palace itself of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. So that took place in 2021. My very first visitation to Bobo Shanti Hill. And it's just quite interesting that at that time, from the time we landed down, from the time, nobody came to pick us up, nothing. We just knew where we were going. And from the moment we stepped in, it was just all about the order. One time, obviously had to get some getting accustomed to. And I was very intrigued, of course, in the majesty of the place and the place where God dwelled and all of that. So it was, rich within my zeal, but still equally the order itself. So right away, we were holding banners. We were playing the music, whether it's the bass or whether it's the funde, morning devotion. We were in the line, second apostle, etc. For those who understand the order, by the way. Meaning that where I was coming from, there wasn't any congregation at all, gathering no time, nowhere. In fact, if we were to be honest, it's almost like it was, almost myself and one or two others. You could actually count them on your hand that were even keeping a Sabbath in whatever way that we knew at that time, as the order was not spread as much even in the land as it is now. Mm. But because I was very inquisitive and I was studying, and I met the Honorable Priest Germain, that is the Honorable Raskasa, from the headquarters himself, and he would have guided me in many ways of understanding to what this order was about when he passed through Antigua. It was just about a year and a half after that I would have visited Jamaica Bull Bay for the first of the several visits that I would have made. So for the time that I would have spent there, I was moving through the courts as if I was a crowned prophet. That's the point I'm getting to. No one ever suspected, once thought that I was from either Trinidad or I was from the Virgin Islands, because these places would have had camps set up where the order would have been displayed and expressed regularly. Camp life. So prophets and priests are made in Trinidad and the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, St. Thomas, etc. So when I say, no, I'm from Antigua, ones would say, there are no priest Kushiba. Now, them times I would have heard of priest Kushiba, but at that time, I would have not met the honorable priest, who is a priest, yes, but he was not crowned even in Antigua. And he himself would have received his massive training in the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Priest Kushiba. In fact, visiting the hill, Honorable Priest Dan, who is deceased now, who came to an untimely passing, he always mentioned Priest Kushiba. He always say, yeah, man, I know Priest Kushiba well. When he come around here, he just do a lot of artwork. He even showed me one of the paintings of the Honorable Priest Kushiba with a tiger, a black tiger, running on the water. And you see the black star line in the background. So I'm just saying that the visitation, and I would have spent at that time, well, the first initial visits that I would have made to the hill, it would have been a month plus, that kind of vibration, move and come again. But in that first specific, the primary visit, I was to a degree already equipped, and whatever I wasn't equipped with, I was picking it up quickly. So, and I'm learning. So even the whole concept of the crowning, that kind of missed me at the time. And when the time was coming close for me to leave, concerned ones who knew I wasn't crowned was saying, hey, but how you go with the crowning? I said, huh? What are you talking about? And after explaining, and I inquired, and it was like a shock, like, wait, yeah, is a crown, my lord? No, no. I said, yeah, it's a crown, prophet. How would I move into the courts? And because, I was always on it. I mean, that's what I went for. So at least, I will, as much as I could, I would be on it. I mean, the service, and of course, the art itself, more so morning devotion, of course, the Sabbath service, etc., etc. As I said, I hold in banner, different gates, I hold in banners. Playing music, you don't do these things unless you are a crowd prophet. And innocent me, thought that I was just doing what I would have studied, little cassettes and whatever videos I would have seen, Ras Chaka, which is a brethren from around here. His father is an elder dread, one by the name of Ras Wumpum. And he would have visited Jamaica back in the days. I would assume that was the 70s and 80s. He'd go back and forth. And he had a video, a VHS video of the same 1982 documentary that ones would see on the YouTube. Well, I would have been watching that since 90, I would say maybe 1997, 96, 97. We would be watching that. We would go and borrow that from Chaka and just watch that, bring it back, and then maybe in a month's time go and borrow it again and keep it for a month and carry it back. That was VHS, no CD. None of these things ever existed at the time. No DVD, none of these things. We've gone so far that even young people today don't even know what's a DVD. So that's to show you what the gap between our youth and the youth now. Speaking of myself now, personally. So yeah, so we would have been accustomed to a few things. We would have, because we studied these things. We don't just watch the videos. We studied the videos. We studied the cassettes and would have taken great lessons from even a few interviews and a few articles that we would have come across. So I'm just kind of giving you an idea, even at the moment. So when the time came now, and I understood I had to be crowned, in the same way that I was a bit surprised, those who would have been watching me and observing me for the time were like a bit surprised. Because that's what priests do, you know. They watch you, they observe you, they see how you move through the courts, they see how you move through the yard. And they're the ones that say, hey, I think it's time for that brethren get his crown or get his turban. Or, you know, I think it's time for that brother there get his priesthood. Because the woman, all right, the woman ain't got to do nothing. No, she's just an empress, just automatically. But he got to do everything and, you know, go through the whole works. Or the brethren is a good priest. I think it's time he get his leading priest. So obviously ones observe you. From you come to, people observe you. And if I'm always I'm always there, you know, I would make my move, go to the city and come back myself alone and come again and do what I'm doing. And so in, out, and whatever it is. So when now I am saying, no, I'm not crowned yet, obviously, ones would be saying, what? You're not crowned yet? No, I might have a crown before you go. Okay, what do you mean you're not crowned? And still going through the courts. So just sharing a bit of the moments with you, family. So again, it was exactly 7 years after, which would have been the 31st of May, 2001, where I officially got my crown as a prophet, 7 years after the, if you want to say, the moving on of King Emmanuel, right in his palace. So personally, I don't know if anyone else might just see this as a coincidence or is interested in all of that. Well, this is me. Ain't no interest in nothing there. There's nothing interesting there. That is a clear sign. To me personally, that is a clear sign of many things. I'm not going to go into all of that here. You know, to be honest, I know it's the tiger's nest, but there are things that are a bit more personal than things that we come and we speak of. But I don't have to say too much. I mean, you know me. You know we understand the mysteries and we unravel and decode, you know, the hidden messages that are around us. Yeah. And King Emmanuel clearly said, a one will come amongst us that can read the stars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't run and try to read the stars to see if we can fill that shoes in. It's because we went to Bubble Hill reading stars. And ones denied the message that we were coming with. Ones even went as far as to say, no, my Lord, Johnny deal with them things there, stargazers. And it is the elder priest Harris, who is not with us anymore, who said that King Emmanuel said that a man will come amongst us that can read the stars. And hear this, to show you how concrete this evidence is. Myself, and I have a witness, Honorable Priest Kailash. I'm going to show you something here now. And that is how you know this ain't no, you know what I mean, paper boat. When you call other people. So I bring in somebody else on stage now. I ain't going to call nobody and tell no lie on them, eh? Honorable Priest Kailash Leon's witness. Because I'm not sure if he ever actually sat with Elder Priest Harris. But somehow we came across a cassette now. I don't even know what became of that cassette. And on this cassette was an interview with the same Priest Harris. Family, I kid you not. Ask Priest Kailash. On one side of the cassette, for those of you who know what a cassette is, that's another thing. Yeah, cassette is something that has side A and side B. So you take it out and turn it around, unless you have one of the new fancy stuff that switches it around inside. Anyway, something else, eh? Time moves on. On one side of the cassette, Priest Harris tell the man that he is that was interviewing him. I know way around him. He tell the man the same exact thing that Prince Emmanuel say, that a man shall come amongst us that can read the stars. When you press pause and you take the cassette out and turn it around, he telling the man that Prince Emmanuel say that great people gonna come amongst us, doctors gonna come amongst us. And you can ask the doctor himself, who is a witness to what I am saying to the eye. And as I say, it's not Priest Harris give us the cassette. You know, we just came across it. You know how it is in your movements. I don't even remember where we got that from, to be honest. In traveling, and so you get different things. And I'm telling you, one side talk about the man that reading the stars, and if you press pause and turn it around perfectly, he telling the man about doctors. And I'm telling you, because I've always heard about this doctor thing. From the time I'm a Boba Shanti, I always hear King Emmanuel say, great men going to come amongst us, doctors going to come amongst us. I always hear that. The one about the star reading, that's a very, you know, is not as prominent as the doctor one, you know, but we do have other ones who testify of hearing things of that nature. But what I'm saying, how mystic it is, family, that the doctor and the star reader come across the same cassette. Remember, it's Melchizedek we're talking about, you know. So his after effect has to be mystic as well, just as he is mystic. Those who follow him and proclaim his name with a genuine heart, you must see the mystics around them too. So the doctor and the star reader get the cassette where if you just press flip, and a man shall come amongst us that shall read the star. Flip, turn around. Yeah, the man say, great men gonna come amongst us, man. Doctors and things. Flip, and a man shall come amongst us that shall read the star. Flip. Yeah, the man say, great men gonna come amongst us, man. Doctors and things. Flip, and the man shall come. No, come on. Come on. I telling you, reality here. This is not reading the Bible and decoding and reading even the stars and decoding. I'm showing you live in front of my face how God speak to me. And that's just like picking something, you know, that's like a letter out of an encyclopedia as it relates to the constant connection and conversation that the Most High has with myself. And I do dare say with all of us. But you see, it's all about us being in tune and actually being open and aware of the conversations that will be happening around us. So I'm just saying, family, that seeing that exactly 7 years after, exactly 7 years after the moment, I just happened to come along. The uncrowned one who moving so crowned just happened to come around. And hear this now. I came from Anu, the city of the priests. This is another part of the story. that I wonder how much time we have. I didn't really want to take up too much. This is not even the program, you know. I didn't want it to really be about me, but it's a special day, so you know, yeah. Coming from the island of the priest, the 108. I will repeat, 7 years. Now, we just did a program concerning the number 7. And so you understand the depths of 7 and the completion of 7. And we're talking about King Emmanuel the 7th. It's just like saying, okay, you are a mystic man. And because you're a mystic man, you're saying, hey, what was going on exactly 7 years after the great guru would have left our presence? And you would just have the ability to scan his holy ground to see what was happening. Because you know, every 7 year is a cycle. Every 7 year, something special happens. Every 7 years, spirits return every 7 years. It's not me making this up, eh? You know this too. But sometimes when things get too close to home, we pretend we don't see. Because you'll be saying, oh yeah, King Emmanuel, doctors going to come amongst us, great man. And when the doctors come amongst us, I don't know what you're looking for. You're looking for the white coat and the stethoscope and open your mouth, let me put the light down your throat. Maybe that's what you're looking for as it relates to doctors. You see, the point is we don't like to give credit to our own. That's why sometimes you got to blow your own horn or else it will get rusty. And I'll be very honest, in my case, I don't even think I blow it at all. I am telling you, I get crowned 7 years after. I can explain exactly what was happening there to the T. That's like a series of programs. I can give you clear understanding of what everything means. Even the individuals that crown, I can give you the detail, the witnesses, those who were in the room who didn't come out, but I know they were there too. I can go in detail. But not only will they say I'm blowing my horn, they would say I'm conducting the orchestra. Certain things is better you keep it to yourself. Straight up. So interestingly too, many consider that this is the day that King Emmanuel was born. That is not something that I necessarily hold on to wholeheartedly. In fact, if you were to ask me, I don't rock with that one, that he was born on the 31st of May. But that's not an argument I'm trying to bring. But recently, that this is a recent thing, ones who would have done their research would have come to the conclusion that the Honorable King Emmanuel was born on the 31st, yes, pardon me, of May, 1948. Some say 15 slash, so that's another thing altogether. But what is interesting with that, and again, is not because I may not agree with it or I'm not holding on to it means I'm against it, or I'm not, don't take it like that, I'm trying to debate it, or no, that's not it. That's not how we deal with things. You have your outlook. I humbly would listen to your concerns to see where you came from, how you came to this conclusion. I would have listened to the foundation of this discussion, but for other reasons. Remember, we are in a different realms too. We deal with mystic things, so it's not less one thing we use to come to a conclusion. And my conclusion is that the Honorable King Emmanuel's birthday is not the 31st of May, 1914. Yet still, again, not in an argumentative pose, because when you look at that day, that means, if that was the case, let's just say that is the case, 1914, 31st of May, the Honorable King Emmanuel was born, because he did say he came in 1914. And for those who are totally lost with what I'm saying here, the Honorable Prince Emmanuel, from what we would have observed, never really celebrated a born day. We usually say born day. not birthday, but we say born day or earth day. But the ones never observed him celebrate it, and it's not that he don't believe in that. He celebrate everyone else's Earth Day, the King's Earth Day, Marcus Garvey Earth Day, Empress Menen Earth Day life cycle, but he doesn't celebrate his own. And ones consider that, well, that is to show you he's the Melchizedek, because Melchizedek in the Bible is said to have no mother, have no father, have no beginning of days, have no ending of life. So a lot of these things were around the Honorable King Emmanuel. I came into this knowing this. So many ones would tell you he was never born, straight up. Yeah, man, tell me that clarity, never born, and you don't have no mother, and you don't have no father. Now, although those of us who can think rationally know that's not the case, you must admit that the Honorable King Emmanuel is mysterious to the point that these levels of genealogy and so are really not known. It is factual that ones do not know basically his comings from. It has been shrouded in mystery for a very long time. In fact, it's only that Honorable Empress who wrote the book, the Black Christ Revealed, I think it's 7 Revealed, who would have published, her findings on account of her research, her investigation, that she can at least say, well, this person related to him, that person related to him. Because some people will tell you, listen, I rolling with King Emmanuel since back a while. I never see nobody ever come to him one day, even to say, boy, this is my cousin. Never. And this is a well-known man. Nobody come and say, man, brother, not gonna come look for auntie, nothing. Which is interesting within itself. Now, that's not me making that. That's just the truth, family. That's the truth. Some people feel like you're adding things to King Selassie, or you're trying to add things to Marcus Garvey, or you're trying to add things to King Emmanuel. People do these things. People add them and put syrup and butter and all kind of things, but we don't do that here in the Tiger's Nest. We don't add nothing, and we ain't taking away nothing. You hear me? We ain't taking away anything from the God. So if the God have police beating themselves with their own baton, as mystic as it sounds, if that's what happened, that's what happened. Because we're dealing with an African scientist here. God and King, the Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So yeah, so I'm just showing you that the mystics are real. So if that is the case, the 31st of May, 1914, that means he would have been exactly, this is another exactly here. He would have been exactly to the very day 80 years old. To the day, if that's the case. I have some bubble that say that Emmanuel was 150 something and 120. Because remember, King Emmanuel never said he born in 1914. We must remember that. Well, you say so, priest. I hear. No, hold on. King Emmanuel say, I came in 1914. Came, and that's well known. That's the language he used. That he came. That listen, man, the kind of things I hear, man. Remember, it's not Bobo Shanti alone I speak to when I go to Jamaica. I remember myself, Honorable Priest Lion Cliff, Priest Radcliffe, my lord. I know that I should be in Ethiopia right now. Give thanks for the full repatriation, I should say, repatriation and the part. Hear this now, my lord. I remember one of the times when I live in Bull Bay, my lord, and me and you, they accompany me to the airport, God and King. And wait until my flight leave, my lord. And this elder man met us. I don't know if they remember. I remember giving their guidance with His Majesty that I made with His Majesty face in the background of the Bath, the Fairfields in England. It was a black and white. I clearly remember that. And I think that might be in 2004. And we met an elderly man. And the man telling us he know Prince Emmanuel and so and so. An elderly man, you know. The man says since he little, he know this old man. Now tell me, and that's not the first time I hear that sort of story that Kes Westmore, Priest Richie, have that same sort of account about this old woman that say, an old woman, you know, that asked Kes Westmore. So you see all the names I call in? You understand? So I have witnesses, Rastafari, people that say, yeah, man, the priest know what he's saying. So, you know, make up story show here. And a lot of what I'm saying is not even what I read. Hierophany. Kes Westmore said this old woman says since she's a little girl, she know that old man there. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even call his name, but have certain priests that tell you, yeah, man, when Jamaica moved, I was 120 years old. In fact, I think I would have said so already, you know, so I'm going to say it again, man. I know I hear it out this mouth. I hope you don't feel that way. Honorable Priest Harold would tell you that King Emmanuel was past 100. The mind what the man say with that 80 years thing. But I'm just saying that if we are to move, and it's obvious, it's just mystery around the man. It's a mystery kind of person. That's just what it is. This little conversation I'm having here, this wasn't even the plan yet. But it was necessary to some degree. So even he who you may have never met, and myself, just this conversation gives you a better understanding of the man. Yeah. As I say in a family, I am the Minister of Education. You know, I hold that post clear within the order, for sure, within the Bobo Shanti order. I could tell you that. We ain't got no Minister of Education, so I hold in the post. If someone come to handle the post better than what we doing, well, we'll pass on the post, but nobody holding the post. So we holding the post of Minister of Education, and it go beyond. It's just true. The order of King Emmanuel is what sail the universe, you know. But on them levels there, you go beyond this. Rastafari and just in general. Courses we have, courses, homeschool programs, annual essay competition, all of this and much more within Rastafari, whether it's a nutritional program and how to prepare food program, yoga program, an institute, radio station, 24/7 information going out to the earth. I tell you, I am the Minister of Education. And that's what it needs in this government that we call the EABIC. I ain't going too far down that road here, but just looking down the path, that's what it needs. Needs more real ones to step up right now. All of the sit-backers make up a phrase. It's all right with the Minister of Education. All those who sitting back, spectators. And them same spectators are the complainers, instigators, cutthroat spies, all kind of, yeah, undesirables. Not trouble me, not tell me nothing. If you don't want to hear it, you know what to do. It's all right. I ain't staying too long on it. I just felt to say so. those who don't fit the characteristics I just spoke about, we need to rise up and come to the table. Sometimes you don't have to wait on nobody, you know. You don't have to wait on no calling. We didn't wait on nobody. All what we're doing here, everything I just said, I wasn't sanctioned by no human being to do nothing here. Yeah, man, a man shall come amongst us that can read the stars. Listen, family, let me just get to what I really wanted to talk about tonight. Maybe some other time I might go to it in detail. So remember Thursday evening, we're going to be on Radio Anu, right here on Radio Anu. We will be having a wonderful program with Ras I CERN and Anko Madrid and Ras I Adonis. And I am hoping that Bingi Kwame will be with us. And the discussion will be going into the authenticity of the manuscript that we know as the Kebra Negas. And the Kebra Negas, as you know, by definition, is the glory of the kings. So what we will be doing, we will be having a discussion, a reasoning on the Kebra Negas. And of course, this really came about because ones, even on that same roundtable, were concerned about the actual history of where it came from, and even, well, of course, the history within it, number one, what's legend and what's actually history. But then now the history of the book and its origin has also come up for debate. So we want to bring all of that out and have a healthy reasoning. What we want to have, a healthy reasoning on the subject area as it relates to the Kebra and Negas, the glory of the kings. So make sure that you are with us on Thursday evening, 8 p.m. sharp, Radio Anu. Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice for Rasta Roundtable, a beautiful program that we will be having. And that is every Thursday right here on this radio station, the international flavor, the universal spice. All right, very good. Now, let me just highlight. I want to just read something from the book of Enoch, And the reason why is because we were speaking of, yes, the Kebra Negas, and the Kebra Negas speaks of Enoch, speaks of Elijah and Enoch rising with the Lord. We spoke about that last night, so I don't want to go into that previous evening. But now, in the 20th chapter of The Secrets of Enoch, now Enoch alone is ancient astronomy. I see people try to use Enoch to prove that the earth is flat. And I'm saying now, this clearly shows that ones are not getting the understanding of how important the esoteric language is. That is a staple in our diet or our livity as Africans, the esoteric understanding of things. So in other words, Enoch speaks about the sun going through the gates, talking about the constellations, the zodiac. You understand? These things are symbolically expressed. Enoch lived to be 365 years old, then he was taken up. 365, of course, is the cycle of the annum, 365 days in a year. In fact, Enoch lived to be 365 and a quarter days, which is really 365 0.24 days you have in a year. I wonder if you're following this science here. So and Enoch went into the different heavens, the different layers of the heavens before he came to the 10th heaven to meet God. All right. Let me just read this here for you. And remember, of course, these are writings that were taken out of the Bible, or not included, I should say, not taken out, not included in the King James and other King's versions of Bibles, but you could find them in the Ethiopian Bible, the King Haile Selassie version of the Bible. And it says here, and Enoch now is on the 7th heaven. And those two men, which are angels, lifted me up hence unto the 7th heaven. And I saw there a very great light, and fiery troops of great archangels, incorporeal forces and dominions, orders and governments, cherubim and seraphim, thrones and many-eyed ones, 9 regiments, Ionite stations of light. And I became afraid, I could imagine, and began to tremble with great terror. And those men took me and led me after them and said to me, have courage, Enoch, do not fear. And they showed me the Lord. Hear this, man. And they showed me the Lord from afar, sitting on his very high throne. And Enoch said, so what is there on the 10th heaven, since the Lord dwells here on the 7th heaven? Good question. Because Enoch know he going to the 10th heaven. But on the 7th heaven, and 7, the number 7 again, on the 7th heaven, he's seen the Lord. Not only the man consider he see everything. So he wanted to know, where else we going? Look, the Lord there. And the angel said, on the 10th heaven is God. In the Hebrew tongue, he is called Aravat. Now, that is quite interesting, because even Enoch was sure that there was nobody else to see, because he doesn't see the Lord. But according to this book that they conveniently leave out of the Bible, there was somebody else in heaven beside the Lord, a few steps up. It was God. So it's obvious, that within the structure of the Godhead, just as we hear in religion, and as we see even in the stars, and from all, ancient mythos, like Asar and Heru, the Father and the Son. Here you have God on the 10th heaven, but the Lord down there on the 7th heaven. And to the point that Enoch was positive that the show was over. He wanted to know, where else we going? Look, the man here. Say, no, man, there's more to see. The other man upstairs. Yeah. Thanks for the prophet. Give thanks to the priest. And give thanks for the king. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love. Blessed love. I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of ARCHAEOASTRONOMY from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of ARCHAEOASTRONOMY and Astro-theology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.